Hi friends, we are Phil and Alex and we are gearing up for our IVF embryo transfer in just a few short days. Today we meet our embryologist at our amazing Ovation Fertility Lab. We talk about our 2 genetically normal embryos and make the final decision on which one we will transfer. We are so excited that the big day is finally almost here. Two months ago, we did our IVF egg retrieval. Here you can actually watch our embryos being made. I had surgery to have my eggs taken out that I had grown that month. I was under anesthesia as my fertility doctor was taking out my eggs and passing them off to our embryologist. At that point, our embryologist took my eggs and injected them with Philip's sperm. This was day 1. They were continuing to watch my embryos over the next 5 to 6 days to see how they developed, and the ones that were still growing were biopsied for genetic testing and then frozen. We ended up with 2 genetically normal embryos, one from this retrieval process that you are watching, and one from our previous IVF egg retrieval from 3 years ago. So today we are going to be talking with our embryologist if we are going to transfer our day 5 4AA embryo from this retrieval or our day 7 6CA embryo from our retrieval from 3 years ago. Make them in the hallway? Really?
I'm not doing it.
Okay. Guys, we are here. For those of you who have been with our family for a long time, you recognize it. You recognize the hallway. You know that at the end of the hallway is where we go and make babies that hopefully will stay with us this time. Today is not that day. Today, we told you in yesterday's vlog that we were going to meet with our embryologist, and we are going to hear about our embryos that we are choosing between, the 2 healthy ones. We're going to hear about grading. I am going to ask her a little bit about the other 3 and kind of her experience and kind of learning from her. Okay, so grading, learning, all that good stuff. Here we go. Are you guys excited to hear about our babies? Okay, so we're here and super sweet and super awesome. I was going to share with you guys what we talked about, but our embryologist is amazing, is willing to let us talk and discuss our embryos over here on the vlog and just kind of hear from her all the information. And
yeah, so there's so many questions that we have been wanting and you guys have been asking as well, and I think are really important as we have taken kind of the leap of faith to say, let's do IVF again, and this time with genetic testing. We've shown you guys like our genetic results, and if you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and click here. We really sat down, and Alex and I think, wouldn't you agree, very vulnerable, talked about a lot.
We have 2 embryos, and for our transfer in just a few days, we have to decide which embryo, and we have our date of our transfer because we have picked our embryo, but we want to talk about both of them in case last minute we change our mind. Okay. Do you mind describing what like the freezing process looked like? So it's called vitrification. It's not freezing.
So it's more of like a fast freeze. Whereas in the old days we did what we called slow freeze.
Okay.
And we actually used a machine that ramped down the temperature at a very slow rate.
Right, because a lot of people have done IVF that are watching, and maybe they did it 20 years ago, and they say, I can't believe you're only transferring 1. I transferred 5 because the slow freezing process, you lost a lot more than this vitrification.
Because of ice crystallization within the embryo, which would damage the cells. But now with the vitrification, it's a fast freeze. It freezes them more in a glass state. Okay. Yeah, you don't get those ice crystals.
And that's like you put them in like different solutions to get them to be into the state.
Yeah, and we use now a different cryoprotectant. Now we have like a 99% survival rate pretty much with the vitrification.
Yeah.
So
Well, my question for our genetically normal that we had from last retrieval, we added them onto our genetic testing. How is it on the embryo that we have frozen, thawed, biopsied, and then refrozen?
we do need it to continue developing
Right.
usually to do the biopsy part.
Right.
So as long as it survives the actual initial freeze and thaw,
Mhm.
the refreezing doesn't seem to have an effect.
Okay.
And we haven't noticed
Yeah.
any sort of, like, we can have a lot of success with it.
Yeah.
So revitrification for us and for others, one time seems to
Yeah.
be fine. For us,
Sure.
we've actually gone to the point where we'll revitrify up to 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
in our research and have had success. So we know we have a very safe solution for it.
Yeah. That's a good question. That when you biopsy, I heard that you try to or you do take from the placenta side of the embryo. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, what we're finding is whether it's an A or a B, if you do the genetic testing, it's the genetic testing that is the main factor. This is kind of a subjective morphological grade that we give it.
Yeah.
If it has a C in it, they do have a bit of a reduced chance.
Okay. Yeah. What is our chance with our other embryo?
Well, we've learned that day 7s can make healthy babies.
Right.
The miscarriage rate is as high as 50% though.
Is higher.
It's
Is
higher,
50%.
significantly higher,
Wow.
because they are just more prone to
Slower.
not doing as well.
Sure.
It doesn't mean it will not.
It won't.
Um,
Right.
Definitely
Just
could work.
It's a good chance of implanting. What we don't know is whether that CICM is going to be robust enough to keep growing.
Oh, okay. So it'll probably implant. It's just a matter of.
In the old days, before we did genetic testing, we would look at the Cs and we would not even freeze them because we assumed that that was the type of intercell mass that would likely end up in a blighted ovum.
Sure.
You know, and now with the genetic testing again, I think that's just helped us to say, well, let's give it a chance.
Yeah.
And let's see, and then we discovered, oh, it does make a baby sometimes.
So what would you say the chances of miscarriage for a 4AA day 5?
In our case, it's
No.
5 to 10%.
5 to 10%.
Right,
Definitely
we just-
less than 10.
We just looked at 4
Okay.
years of data.
Okay.
And the day 5s would be slightly lower, but day
Right.
7s are going to be up in the 40% range.
Okay. And would we count this one as a day 6 or day 7?
I don't
We
know.
still counted a day
Okay.
7.
6.5.
Yeah.
I was thinking 25%, 5 to 10%. I can. Even though we're the abnormal ones, let's not be the 5 to 10%.
Well, yes, right.
Because that would be really annoying. We've had a lot of losses. We didn't do genetic testing that first time. I'm just hopeful that we're not going to go through the same thing with a genetically normal embryo. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm hoping to.
Excited for Friday?
Is it really Friday?
I know, it's just a few days away.
Wow.
You're going to get pregnant, there's no doubt.
I'm super, super excited.
We're excited.
We
for
are-
it.
We just want it. We want it. We want it to
out
stick
because it's
so bad.
It's been
A
4
long time.
times of
Okay.
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
for
it's
over
hard.
2 years.
It's very hard.
So me thinking this is going to be a pregnancy and actually
Okay.
staying
Yeah,
I want to
is.
get your hopes
She's
up.
a doubter.
It's a
I
really
want
good
someone to get my
embryo.
hopes up because I think I need
I'm
to
here.
mentally get into the space that it's going to happen. Absolutely.
This is
And-
incredibly encouraging.
I can deal with the grief when it comes. I just don't want to think because in my mind I don't want to doubt and I keep doubting just a little bit. I'm trying not to.
Just know we are on your side too,
Yes.
and we are going to do our best.
Yes.
Mm.
And every transfer's been good, easy.
It's always pretty smooth.
Good.
Yes, yes, we know this hallway well.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Bye. We'll see you Friday.
See you Friday.
That must have been a breath of fresh air.
It is. I think the biggest thing I walked away from that is I am so absolutely confident that we are going with our embryo from this retrieval, our day 5 4AA embryo. And I think they gave me so much more peace of mind. I was thinking that the miscarriage rate is like 25%, even if you get pregnant with a normal embryo. And they said, no, not with that one. That is for their statistics, their rate is like 5 to 10%. So he was saying no, you're gonna be pregnant from this. And super he's like, I don't want to get your hopes up because I told him I'm fearful and I'm nervous that it's not gonna work, but almost they had the confidence in the embryo knowing what they've seen that
Really high pregnancy rates.
high pregnancy rate.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Holy moly. moly, like we could actually get pregnant this time.
No, we're gonna get pregnant and we're gonna stay pregnant.
Oh
that's
my gosh.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah,
That's
staying
what I'm so
pregnant
excited
this
about.
time. And then I learned a lot about our embryo from last retrieval and our day 7 that was frozen on day 6 from our first retrieval had to go to a day 7 to grow to biopsy. Last time it would have been too small to even biopsy 3 years ago, and they didn't let them go to day 7s before. So the fact it's like kind of taking a little longer to grow, and because baby part is rated a C, the implant part is rated an A, so she says it'll probably implant, but you probably have like a more like a 40% chance possibly that we would miscarry with that one. So
high.
I mean, it's high, but I'm still totally excited for that one. But I need to wrap my mind around, like, we literally have a 4AA is like A+. Between a 4 and a 6 is just like how much it's hatched. They said, like, don't really worry about that number. So that wasn't really a thing. It's more focusing on the letters. But they said, honestly, the letters don't matter once you do genetic testing. I mean, it does. Like, it helps you pick, like, your best one, which we are doing. But it's not everything. We could actually get pregnant
You're
this
glowing
time.
right
we
now.
We could actually get pregnant this time. Instead of being like, hey, we'll do IVF and we'll do a transfer and we'll teach you and we'll show you what it's like to do infertility, but we will never get pregnant.
This time we will get pregnant.
Don't you know that